Everything you think you know about scaling your e-commerce store is about to become completely irrelevant. While everyone's been obsessing over which platform to advertise on and hunting for the next viral product, there's been a fundamental shift happening right under our noses that 99% of store owners are completely missing. I've taken my own store from 0 to 1.2 million in annual sales over 5 years, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that what worked even 12 months ago is not going to work this year. The game has changed forever, and the store owners who don't adapt are going to be left behind, while the smart ones who see what's coming will absolutely dominate the markets. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 massive shifts that are happening in e-commerce right now that nobody is talking about, and exactly how you can position your store to not just survive, but to thrive in this new landscape. And if you stick around to the end, I'll give you the exact framework I use to maintain profitability at scale in my own store. The first shift is the one that's by far the most important and yet the most overlooked. For years, e-commerce dream was simple. Find a trending product, slap up a Shopify store, throw up some Facebook ads at it, and retire in Bali. That's the dream every guru sold. And for a while, it worked. But here's the truth in 2025. Single purchase businesses are dead. Why? Because customer acquisition costs have exploded. 2 years ago, you might pay $5 to $10 to acquire a customer. But today, depending on your niche, it's between 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100. I'll give you an example. In one quarter, I ran an experiment. I said, what happens if I double my ad budget? In just 3 months, I managed to burn through $20,000 on customer acquisition with nothing to show for it at the end. If I didn't have return purchasers, that money would have been gone forever. That's why the stores that win are not the ones trying to make money on the first order. They're the ones thinking of lifetime customer value, LTV. Think about it. If I know my average customer will give me $200 profit over 12 months, I can easily afford to spend $60, $70, maybe even $80 to acquire them. But if you're only banking on a $40 profit, you can't bid anywhere near that high. That's why I can consistently outbid my competitors. I don't care if the first order breaks even, because I know that the second, third, and fourth orders are where the money is made. So if you're still running a single purchase business, you're playing Russian roulette. The old spray and pray approach just doesn't work anymore. The only sustainable path forward is building your customer lifetime value. But after understanding customer lifetime value, there's one more revenue channel that most store owners will completely neglect and leave as an afterthought, when in reality it should actually be one of the first things you focus on. They obsess over ads, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, influencer shoutouts, and they completely ignore the most profitable channel they'll ever own: email marketing. I can tell you with complete confidence, in my store, email quietly drives 40% of all revenue. And no, we're not just talking about the boring newsletter blasts. I'm talking about automated flows that print money in the background. The welcome series that turns new subscribers into paying customers, abundant cart flows that recover thousands every single month, win-back campaigns that revive old customers and keep them buying again and again. Most store owners treat email like an afterthought. I treat it as a money machine. And the tools today are insanely powerful. Platforms like Klaviyo or Omnisend let you create segmentation that was unthinkable just 5 years ago. You can trigger different flows based on purchase history, browsing behavior, or predicted lifetime value. Here's an example. If someone buys a sleep aid product from me, I don't just send them random discounts. They get funneled into a sequence about sleep hygiene, bedtime routines, and complementary products like mouth tape or blackout masks. That doesn't just make them buy once, it makes them feel understood, which makes them come back again and again. Here's the bigger picture. Email is not just an addition, it's the hidden growth engine that makes your ads viable. Without email, your ads are a gamble. With email, ads become predictable. If you want proof, here it is. I once spent $20,000 on agencies that delivered effectively nothing. But when I doubled down on email, I started making thousands every single month. So ask yourself this: are you leaving money on the table by ignoring email? By the way, if you're an e-commerce brand owner doing over $20K per month and you want to hit that 7 figures like I did, you can apply for my exclusive coaching program using the link in the description. This next shift I'm about to share with you is perhaps the most misunderstood shift of all of them, and yet is the one that drives the most profitable growth. I see it every day. Marketers arguing which platform is the best: Facebook versus TikTok versus Google, as if you can pick one, plant a flag and win. But here's the truth: the platform wars are over. It's not about one platform, it's about the orchestration. Think of your marketing like a symphony. Each platform is an instrument. On its own, it might sound okay, but together, when timed right, it becomes unstoppable. Here's how I run it. Google Shopping is unbeatable for intent-driven products. If someone's searching for vitamin D3 UK, that's where I want to be. Meta ads are better for remarketing. You can show your ads to people who have already visited your store. They'll be much more likely to buy than cold traffic. TikTok is where I test cheap traffic, ideas, ideas and creative angles. A video that flops on TikTok? No big deal. A video that pops? I can move it to Meta and scale it. The beauty today is that testing costs have collapsed. Tools like Zapier, Gumloop, and AI-driven creative testing let you validate ideas fast and cheap. You don't need to waste thousands anymore. You can just find winners for pennies on the dollar. But here's the mistake most people make. They just try to pick one platform and stick to it. It's like trying to play symphony with just a violin. The stores that will thrive in 2025 don't just ask Facebook or TikTok. They ask, what role does each platform play in my customer's journey? But there's one metric that has more impact on your profitability than any advertising strategy. And most store owners don't even know what that number is. Everyone wants more traffic, everyone wants more reach. But here's the million-dollar question. What happens with the traffic you already have that just doesn't convert? This is why most e-commerce stores silently die. They keep pouring money into ads, but the conversion rate is so low that every click bleeds them dry. You need a mindset shift. Conversion rate is the new growth hack. Let me break it down. There are 3 anxieties every customer has before they buy. Can I trust this store? Will this product work for me? And is it worth my money? If you don't address all of those, they'll bounce. So how do you fix it? Trust building signals everywhere, reviews on product pages, Trustpilot badges, 100,000 customers served since 2010. The more credibility you show, the higher your profit will be. Next is transparency, clear shipping info, return policy, and contact details. If you hide your location or bury your return policy, people will assume that you're a scammer. Finally, professional design. Stop running a site that looks unfinished. Customers can smell amateurs from a mile away. Here's why this matters so much. Even a 1% increase in your conversion rate will multiply your ads efficiency. Say you're spending $1,000 a month on ads. If you move from a 2 to 3% conversion rate, you've just grown your sales by 50% without spending a single extra dollar. And here's the kicker. Conversion rate improvements compound. Every uplift makes your ad spend, your email, and your SEO spend more effective. Most people chase shiny new platforms, but the real winners obsess over conversion. The final shift I'm about to reveal is a secret weapon that allows 8 and 9-figure stores to outspend everyone while staying profitable, but almost nobody understands how it actually works. Now let me share the secret weapon that separates the 7 and 8-figure stores from everyone else. It's a concept almost nobody talks about, but it changes the entire game. It's called a self-liquidating offer. Here's the idea. Instead of thinking about profit per order, you think about profit per customer. A self-liquidating offer is structured so that you only barely break even on the very first sale, but that means you get the customer for free. Here's how it works in practice. Instead of selling one product for $20, you sell a bundle for $39 that costs you only $12 to fulfill. You have a higher average order value and more margin. Next is nut and bolt offers. Sell a low-cost nut that only makes sense when paired with a higher margin bolt. Customers will buy both. Free plus shipping. Classic but powerful. You give away something cheap and charge shipping, then upsell them into the real product. When you build these offers into your funnel, suddenly you can outspend your competitors by 3 to 4x. Your competitors will be stuck trying to make just $5 profit on every single order, whereas you're acquiring customers for free and monetizing them over months and years. This is the strategy behind my consistent 2 to 3x LTV to CAC ratio. It's how I can outbid competitors, dominate auctions, and scale reliably. Now that you've seen the 5 big shifts, the question is, how do you actually apply them? Here's the framework I use to scale my store profitably. First, audit your customer lifetime value. Stop guessing. Know exactly what your average customer spends over 30, 60, and 180 days. Tools like Shopify Analytics or cohort analysis will help. Only armed with this information, you won't get into trouble by overspending on ads. Next, build retention systems that go beyond email. Email is the core, but add subscriptions, SMS, WhatsApp, memberships, loyalty points, and even private communities. You want stickiness. You don't want to be a one-trick pony. Next, restructure your offers. Move beyond single products. Create tiers: basic, nut and bolt, premium, VIP, with each step increasing the customer value. Remember to track attribution for valuable customers. Don't just track clicks. Track who buys again, who refers friends, and who leaves reviews. Optimize for valuable customers, not just cheap clicks. Implement systematic trust building. Your store should scream credibility: reviews, badges, clear policies, phone numbers, social proof, all consistent across every channel. When you apply this framework, you stop chasing hacks and start building systems. Look, e-commerce is changing faster than ever, and what got you here won't get you there. If you follow this framework, there's no reason you can't build a store that dominates your market and hits 7 or even 8 figures. Click on this video if you want to learn how to scale your e-commerce store from 0 to 1.2 million like I did in 2025. Also, if you're an e-commerce brand doing over 20K per month and you want to hit 7 figures like I did, you can apply for my exclusive coaching program using the link in the description. I'll see you in the next one.